Hello and welcome everybody to YASH Technologies Higher Education webinar titled Transform Your University into a Digital Campus with YASH-backed SAP Solutions. Before we get started, I'd like to do a couple quick housekeeping items. This session will be recorded and we'll share the link with all the attendees after the event. Please feel free to ask questions at any time. During the presentation, there is a QA button on your Zoom controls. Should be located on the bottom of your screen. We'll do our best to address the questions at the end of the session today. All of our attendees' microphones will be muted and cameras as well, just to allow us to get through the presentation without any interruptions. But we're, like I mentioned, going to address all the questions at the end of the session. With that, let's get started. We're really fortunate today to have Nancy Varghese from SAP. Nancy is the Senior Global Director for Higher Education and Research. I'm Matt Parker, Senior Sales Executive at YASH Technologies, and I'll be your host today. Patrice Hickman from YASH Technologies is our SAP Finance Pre-Sales Lead. And then Atish Shukla is YASH Technologies Higher Education and Research Practice Lead. So we're really looking forward to meeting with you all today. Let's cover the agenda. First, I'm going to begin with a brief overview of YASH Technologies. I'll hand it over to Nancy, who's going to discuss the latest and greatest offerings regarding SAP Higher Education and Research. Patrice is going to go over YASH Technologies Higher Education and Research offering for CFOs. And then Atish is going to walk us through a day in the life of a student advisor and faculty with YASH's SAP Student Lifecycle Management Solution. And then we'll open it up for questions and answers at the very end. So let's get started with a little bit of background about YASH. YASH Technologies was founded a little over 28 years ago here in the United States in East Moline, Illinois. It's our global headquarters. We are a mid-sized company, but we have locations in 5 continents around the world. We have 8,500 employees worldwide, and our headquarters is in East Moline. We're lucky to be the transformative partner of choice for over 80 Fortune 500 organizations. And we have a dedicated higher education research practice that's led by Atish, and you'll hear from him in a little bit. And then we're also recognized by several analyst groups like Gartner and Forrester and many others. Regarding our global reach, I wanted to give you a quick snapshot of our locations around the world. As you can see, our footprint is vast around the world, which allows us to help companies scale as large and as far-reaching as they need to. So if you're looking to grow your business, whether it's here in the U.S., Canada, or other regions around the world, and establish a broader footprint in the globe, we're in a good position to be able to assist you. Let's go over our service offerings. Again, my group is focused primarily on SAP. We're a gold certified SAP partner for sales and service. So we can help you acquire licensing from SAP. And then we can also help you with the integration. But that relationship doesn't stop there. We also stay engaged with customers from ongoing support, adoption, and organizational change management, and helping you not just launch your software, but also adopt and manage it in your organization to ensure that it's successful in transforming your organization. We talked briefly about production application lifecycle management. That's that support after the software has been launched. Infrastructure management services. So if you need assistance in designing and implementing infrastructure to help with your digital transformation, we can help with that. And then, digital transformation, from IoT and embedded systems cloud services, data analytics and AI, cybersecurity. We have capabilities that can help with that as well. We have a testing practice that, can help you, end to end, with your testing and quality assurance to make sure that the software is meeting all of the requirements that you designed up front. If you're using another ERP aside from SAP, we have experience with Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle, QAD, and several other technologies. So, be assured that, whatever your technology ecosystem is today, we have experience working with that and helping companies implement SAP in those environments. Let's take a look at YASH and SAP Student Lifecycle Management Solution. It provides higher education institutions with both a strategic view and a value chain view of their universities. The strategic view focuses on university leadership by providing them with the data that they need to make strategic decisions across their entire ecosystem. The value chain view provides administrators with the tools and data to manage their individual areas of responsibility and be seamlessly integrated with their counterparts. The entire solution is focused on providing the best student, faculty, and administrative experience possible, and it's backed by the power of SAP. So with that, I'd like to introduce Nancy Varghese. Like I said, we're really lucky to have Nancy today. She's the Senior Global Director of Education and Research at SAP. She has 15 years of experience guiding educational institutions towards financial sustainability. Prior to joining SAP, Nancy also served various educational committees, such as the White House Initiative for Historically Black Colleges and Universities, and she's also a former grant reviewer for the National Science Foundation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Matt. And I am so delighted to be with you here today. And to our audience, thank you for making the time to join us. I know schedules are so busy, but we really have a lot to share with you and just SAP's focus on this industry, which, as you may or may not know, SAP does represent 25 industries. But the most important industry to us, of course, is our higher education and research industry. As you can tell, we have over 30 years of experience in this particular industry with about 6,000 customers worldwide in about 95 countries. And we support about 3.5 million students globally with our solution portfolio. Now, my colleagues that are from the YASH team that are joining us today will give you a deep dive into how these organizations are achieving this magnificent orchestration of their systems, both back office and front office operations at other educational institutions. But before we get there, let's dive a little bit deeper into the industry. As I mentioned, one of the most important industries is this industry for higher education and research. And we have a vision for these institutions in terms of empowering the young minds. We realize that there's so much talent coming in through your funnels, and we're dedicated to supporting you throughout the teaching and learning from graduation, from admissions all the way through graduation and to alumni status. But we're also realizing that there's a lot of business challenges. The environment for the higher education world is constantly evolving. And we're here to support you with those challenges, as you'll see with our portfolio. But lastly, we're in partnership with you in terms of igniting new discoveries, in terms of research-intensive institutions, and just the power that coming from a partnership with institutions in finding new cures for diseases that we didn't even know could happen, to new technological advancements that we're going to bring to market together. But as I mentioned, the environment for higher education is constantly evolving. There's many challenges that we're dealing with, such as declining enrollments in the United States, and also consolidations of institutions as they consolidate and merge together, along with the perception of a degree, challenges with the perception of a degree in college universities, along with, as well, huge college debts. All these challenges are obstacles that we've seen here at SAP and that our solution portfolio can actually help you position you in a strategic way to make sure that you're able to address all these challenges that are coming your way. And exactly how do we do this? We do this through SAP's solution portfolio. Our depth and breadth of our solution portfolio is very extensive. We start with our business technology platform. Now, our business technology platform is so important because it keeps all your solutions connected, but you can also build on top of that with a no code, low code applications. But as we move through this diagram, you're seeing also the industry specific capabilities that we bring. We'll go through some of them today, such as our ERP and our student information system and how they're really tailored for this particular industry. And lastly, of course, we've all heard the buzz about AI. And we've also heard the challenges that come along with AI. And we'll briefly touch upon SAP's strategy and how we're helping institutions achieve some of these new innovations, bringing them to your institution and helping you figure out how to execute on them. But before I do, let's talk briefly about some of the successes that we've had. In particular, I want to highlight Penn State University, one of our success stories here at SAP. Penn State is actually utilizing SAP solutions to help their financial systems run more efficiently and create insightful, data-driven insights where they can actually make real-time decision-making based on data that is integrated throughout their multi-campus institution. And as I mentioned earlier, AI has become a huge topic, not only for SAP, but for us as general consumers. There's concerns about how are we keeping data relevant, how are we keeping data secure, and how these tools can be utilized at our institutions. Well, I'm excited to share with you a little bit about SAP's unique position and how we're really empowering all these mission critical business processes with AI embedded inside our technology. And we're making sure that your data is secure, but we're also making sure that it's relevant, that you're able to access the data that you need to make those decisions. But we're also making sure that it's reliable and that we handle your data in a responsible way. Taking out all the work on how to implement this AI tools because they're embedded inside our solutions. Let me give you an example of that. SAP Joule. It is our new chatbot that is going to be integrated across the SAP solution portfolio. This is embedded inside our solutions, and it'll help you navigate the SAP processes as well as gaining insights and gaining access to knowledge that you did not know was there. And this is all because we're realizing that institutions are struggling with how to execute on AI. We did a survey earlier in the year in which we surveyed higher education institutions in the United States, and about 68% of them are still in what we call an early exploration phase of the AI. That means that they're still trying to figure out, their strategy and how to implement some of these tools. Well, as I mentioned, with our embedded technology of AI, you're going to get all that power throughout our entire solution portfolio, making it easy for you to consume. But before I go, I want to make sure that I also take the opportunity to invite you to one of our community events. SAP and YASH, one of our platinum sponsors here, we're partnering together with Boston University and putting together SAP's Educational Fall Forum. This is an industry event by industry for industry. So you're going to hear about all the amazing success stories from different institutions such as Boston, Baylor College of Medicine, Weill Cornell, among other institutions. And because of the generous sponsorship from our partners, YASH, registration is complimentary free. So please scan the QR and register. We hope to see you in person and give you a deeper dive into our strategy and how these institutions are innovating with SAP. But last but not least, let me leave you with one last nugget, and that's our University Alliance's SAP Next Gen program, which is a free program to all institutions, regardless of whether you're an SAP customer or not. This is an initiative from SAP to help institutions with the teaching and learning. It is a free program for institutions where they get to test out and learn the SAP tools for their students, for the faculty, for staff, just so they can not only learn SAP tools, but they can build their resume and have a job skill and a talent that is in high demand. So I hope I've given you enough overview of our SAP solution portfolio for higher education and research. And I really hope that you'll take the opportunity to join us because we have so much more to share with you. And I'm going to pass it over back to Matt. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nancy. I'd like to just pause for a quick second and give everybody an opportunity to look at their navigation tools, and please take a second. If you have any questions, feel free to enter those in the Q&A portion so that we can address those questions at the end of the session today. So with that, I'm going to turn the ball over to Atish. Atish Shukla is our higher education practice lead at YASH Technologies. Atish, off to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Atish, and I come with around 15 years of experience in higher education and research. I have been working in designing solutions that are around student experience, increasing the enrollment, student retention, faculty experience, and managing some of the very, very complex higher education and research problems. And in today's session, I'll be showing you a glimpse how a digital campus can look like with SAP solutions. Now, the idea is like one solution, one platform, and one unified experience. We want our applicants to have same user experience like our alumni are having, and also our students. Now, this is a vision that YASH has with SAP-backed solutions. The digital campus would have, number one, the CRM. Now, this is where the higher education and research processes start. The lead management, attracting applicants, the email blasters, the social media campaigns, and the social media integration. Now, the idea is to have one centralized master data for applicants, as well as alumni and also industry connect. Now, once we have our application management taken care of, where the applicants are filling the admission application form, which could be as lengthy as 10,000 fields or as short as few hundred fields, depending on the kind of experience that we want to render to the applicants. Then comes the student lifecycle management. This is where the admission to graduation cycle starts. Now, managing the program registration, the course content, the elective bidding, the timetable, the graduation audits, and along with faculty tasks, like managing the student attendance, seeing the timetable of a student, and so on. Now, once I have student lifecycle management taking care of the student experience and the faculty experience, then comes the core operations or the backend office. Now, in backend office, the idea is to have student finances along with the university finance on common platform. So my tuitions, my refunds, my discounts, my scholarship, and students applying for different installment plans will happen in this platform, along with the university budgeting, the core finance reporting, the trial balances, and then going to the analytics of finance. Like I can literally predict my profits and I can also do a deferred revenue for the university. While this is happening, the backend office will also take care of the procurement, the inventory management, the material management, the procure to pay cycle, along with my project systems. Now, project systems can take care of small construction projects that the university is taking care of, or some of the large initiatives around faculty research. Now, once I have the backend office taken care of, then comes the total task force management or the employee experience. Now, the faculties and the non-teaching staff would be taking care of a lot of operational tasks in a university. So SAP gives you a feasibility of having recruitment of employees along with performance and goal management, the learning management, the payroll, along with faculty research. Now, the important point is like the employees would be uploading the research content and at the same time also managing the student lifecycle management for the discounts, for the timetable, for the attendance, all happening in one common platform. Now, once the total task force management is taken care of, then comes the innovation center. Now, this is the USP of SAP. All my customers are having this kind of an innovation center right at the core of higher education and research solution. Now, the idea is we all know higher education industry is so dynamic. At the end of the day, we all are trying to have student success along with meeting the student demands. Now, we'll have to keep a balance between the two. Now, for this, there would be some localization, need to customize your solutions, and some unique exceptional scenarios to be managed in the solution. For this, SAP gives you a platform known as BTP or Business Technology Platform, where you can design your own solutions and localize some of the solutions that are not meeting your demands. Then comes some of very unique solutions that are required in higher education and research industry, like student housing, managing the student housing within the campus or outside the campus, even taking care of the transportation of students, along with number of rooms that are offered in the university, attendance, clock in and clock out. Now, this image and these solutions take care of all solutions that a higher education and research institute would aspire to, along with analytics. Now, I'm not talking about just fancy dashboards. Now, this analytics has AI embedded and has capabilities to predict. Now, if I want to do a prediction like how many admission numbers would I have in 2025, 2026? This tool can do that analytics for me. Now I'll have embedded analytics, I'll have predictive analytics along with KPI-based dashboards. The dean, the chancellor, the president, the CFO, all will have KPI-based dashboards, pulling the information from these solutions and helping you take data-driven decisions. Now, these are just quick numbers like to show the strength of SAP. Higher education and research solution has been around 30 years. It comes with a lot of best practices. I have seen customers who are in technology management, short-term courses, long-term courses, distance learning, liberal arts, pseudo-liberal arts, fixed curriculum, and so on, all being managed in one platform. Because the capability that SAP offers to customize the solution is tremendous. And there are somewhere around 3 million students that are using SAP solutions globally. And this fact, like 97 out of top 100 global universities are using SAP, is like that we are very proud of. Now, these are some of the logos that are using SAP worldwide. You can see some of the large universities as well as some of the smaller universities also using one common platform. So though I've covered the academic side of the solution, this one slide talks about all the processes that are offered in SAP Student Lifecycle Management. Now, it starts with the pre-admission process where the applicants are coming in, filling an admission application form. There's an admission advisor who's monitoring the flow of information, and then there are some reportings around it. The student or the applicant is filling the admission form and gets admission, gets onboarded, the roll number is generated, the documents are uploaded, the verification of document happens, and then the registration to the program happens. Now, program change or campus change, along with cohort change or the batch change will happen, and then the student accounting is embedded. So you'll have options to run automated fee calculation, tuition fee collection, discounts, deferred revenue, scholarship, and so on. And all are workflow based. Now, the students would be applying using a mobile adaptive dashboard, and the advisors would be approving or rejecting the request. Then comes the elective bidding or the course selection or the course planner, the specialization, along with academics solution around notes, travel, notification, and then advising. Now, advising is one of the USP of SAP. I can have advising at all solutions. For instance, if a student is selecting a elective course, I can have an advisor give advising like, hey, why don't you select MAT 101 course and not MAT 102, because that will help you in your academic success. Now I can also do analytics like how successful was my advising by comparing the number of students who took advising versus number of students who didn't took advice and just went their own selection. Then comes the assessment, the grades upload, generating a bell curve, calculating the indexes like CGPA, GPA, SGPA, and so on. And then comes the progression of a student from semester 1 to 2, fall to uh, winter, and so on. And then finally, the degree audit. I can do a simulation of my degree audit, what if analysis, and then the student becomes a alumni. Now, this alumni data would again be residing in the CRM system, which also has applicant data. So you have one centralized master data reporting for all your business solutions. Now, these are some of the dashboards, uh, just to give you a glimpse, like how user-friendly the dashboards are. This is one dashboard that I personally love. This gives me a forecast of my profit or the trend analysis. Like I can have the profits of last 3 years taken, and the system would give me an analytics on what would my profit trend look like for next 5 years or next 6 years. And this is taking student lifecycle management data into consideration, all the profit centers and cost centers into consideration, and along with some descriptive parameters that you want the system to consider. And this is how academic dashboard looks like. Now, all the KPIs are flexible, like universities can design their own KPIs. Number of students graduating versus number of students incoming, department profit analysis, gender diversity, and you can even have geo maps to have an idea like in what's the demographic of my students, like which region has more number of students compared to the regions where I'm not able to attract more applicants, and so on. These are all user-friendly dashboards and interactive dashboards. Like you can change your graphs on your own, pull data, drag data, create your own dashboards. But the idea is that we want this platform to enable data-driven decisions. This is how a student dashboard looks like. There are more than 100 applications, right from my personal data, registration, applying for discounts, paying the tuition fees using a payment gateway, selecting the courses, doing a what if analysis on the graduation audit, faculty is giving notes to the student. The student can reply back on notes, see the timetable, see their attendance, and so on. And this is how an admission application form looks like. Now we have multiple templates. Some of the templates are like very lengthy and can capture more than 5 to 6,000 fields in one single admission application form. But at the same time, there are some other templates which are designed for a lean and like a quick admission form where applicants do not have to spend more than 2 minutes. So it all depends on the requirement of the university. And this has multiple language. It has inbuilt Zoom and Teams integration so that you can take interviews. It can also give you analytics on forecasting the admissions for next 3 years and 4 years and so on. Yeah, so this is how a timetable or a calendar looks like. Um, on the left hand side, you can see all my events. And on the top, I have a calendar, and it also shows me a navigation to the LMS because SAP comes with a single sign-on facility. So you can have your LMS talk to SAP, and students can have one seamless integration. Like, take me to my LMS. Student will navigate from SAP dashboard to the LMS, attend classes, and come back and see the attendance in SAP dashboard. It will also show you overdue courses and so on. So this is how a course planner looks like. There are so many variations of elective booking or elective bidding. Um, I can have wish list. I can have a demand estimation done. I can prepare a timetable based on the demand and then publish an actual timetable which students can select along with the courses. And then I can have wait list and also course wise fees. Now this is very dynamic. It all depends on the requirement of the university. Yeah, this is how my tuition tile looks like. This is like basically a view for the faculty, for the students, sorry, on how the my tuition items would be shown, and the student can make payments and see all the receipts, and even students have option to generate donation links. This is how a typical student onboarding looks like. Um, Once the applicant is accepted, so the students will have option to upload documents, look for an ID card, settle finances. So the steps that you see in the screen are all configuration. You can design your own onboarding steps. This is how a travel management looks like. Faculties and admins can have travel like industry visits or 1 day visit created in the system. Admins can monitor the budget, can manage the monetary aspects of a trip, and students can make selection, which will go for a workflow. And based on approvals, a student can actually go on a travel plan, and the attendance and timetable would also be automated in this case. Yeah, this is how an attendance looks like. So SAP can integrate with any event-based attendance capturing system like RFID or a camera-based attendance or even a manual attendance. Like faculties can go and add attendance in a very mobile-friendly screen like this, and students can see number of classes scheduled versus attended and versus absent and so on. Yeah, this is how a student typically sees the final result. It could be semester wise, it could be a cumulative result, and students have option to even simulate their GPA by adding the courses, by adding the credit points, and, and also download this in a PDF format. Yeah, this is how a graduation roadmap looks like. Students will have this option of viewing the program requirements, the major requirements, the minor requirements, the specialization requirements, the GPA requirements, and so on. And every requirement would show the status of the courses completed and pending. And the students even have option to do a what if analysis. Like what happens if I achieve a higher grade in upcoming semesters? How would my GPA look like?
Yeah, thank you so much, Atish. That was very, very insightful and a really great look at our student lifecycle management solution. Just a quick question. I know, some of the viewers might be interested in knowing, with all the screens that you shared, is the interface, is it responsive? Will it work on multiple devices, or would a student or a faculty member have to access it from, like a desktop?
No, so all the screens that I've shown you today are mobile adaptive and responsive. Like we don't want faculties to open their desktops and do these activities. We want faculties and students to be engaged using a mobile. Like we want universities to come on a mobile uh, and have higher engagement. So all the apps are mobile responsive, Matt, and can be used in any handheld device.
No, thank you. That's outstanding. Well, with that, we're going to turn it over to Patrice Hickman. She's going to talk about higher education, sustainability, and CFO empowerment. Patrice?
Hi, everyone. I'm Patrice Heckman, and I've been working with SAP for over 20 years. And I want to talk about some of the back office features that we see that will help us get to what we call the CFO dashboard so that we can see some of the cool reporting, and we can also help make we can also make strategic decisions for our institution based on some of the financial reports that we see. So far, what we've heard today is we heard SAP talk about some of the cool SAP offerings, how they have AI coming into play with higher education. Then we heard from Atish, and Atish took us to some of the really cool offerings that we have for student lifecycle management, the offerings that we have there. He showed us the ecosystem and how it all plays together. Now, what do we have in the back on the back end, or what we call the back office from an SAP perspective or from the ERP perspective, so that we can produce reports to help CFOs, VPs, and department heads make decisions on where the institution needs to go next. So if we look at the slide that we're currently showing, the key things that we're seeing here is finance and reporting. There are transactions that are happening on a daily basis within the institution itself. When we talk about transactions, we mean GL transactions. We have purchasing that's happening. We're receiving monies both from our students and then also from any other type of sales that we do outside of just the day-to-day student activity. So when we have these finance activities happening at a department head level, they're looking to make decisions such as what can they do for cost reduction, what's supplier transparency, what's sustainable sourcing. Then for a VP role, they're looking at the financial health of the institution. They want to control costs within their department or within their areas. And then they also want to have financial transparency. They want to be able to pull these reports to see the stability of the institution at any given point in time. And a CFO is looking at a strategic view because your CFO is making decisions on programs. Are we going to add additional programs? Are we going to do some research and development to see what other programs we can bring in? They transform operations. They're rethinking about student engagement. Are the students staying engaged? Are we getting them long term? Are they staying from year 1 through year 4? These are the type of things in higher education that we're looking at to make decisions around. So we want to make sure within SAP that we can create an end-to-end research experience and an end-to-end student experience, as long as an end-to-end employee experience. And we want to be able to leverage real-time data to make such to give predictive analysis to make these decisions. We're going to see later on in the presentation where we're going to walk through the CFO dashboard, and we're going to drill down into some of those reports so you can see the type of data that you can see as a CFO that can help you make some of these decisions. When we look at higher education and research from an SAP S4 perspective and the cloud capabilities and offerings that we have, we want to make sure that you understand the business values in each area. So here I have 4 pillars. The first one talks about revenue. If we look at the revenue pillar, we want to look at what's the constituent. What do we have for value and trust? Where are we getting the information from? What are we focusing on for the key outputs? And then how is SAP S4 going to help you get there? So if we look at revenues, we want to look at what portfolios of products and offerings that we have. We want to make sure that they're predictable and want to estimate any new revenue streams that may be available for our services. How can SAP S4 help you get to that revenue stream? We can have a reduction in customer churn. We want to make sure, again, that we're giving the best experience possible, both for our employees and for our students, so they'll stay with us from beginning to end, even through, as I think Nancy said earlier, the alumni experience, which means they will probably give back to the institution. We have 5 to 25% increase in revenue from new products and services. Again, when we look at the CFO dashboard, and when they're able to make great decisions, they can put money into research and development to have new offerings within the organization. And then we have 10 to 20% increase in service revenue from new business models if we so to introduce one. The next pillar we want to look at is profitability. We want to reduce process functions cost. We want to improve service margins and increase sourcing savings. We want to optimize on R&D, as I spoke about earlier. Just some of the key highlights in this area: 5 to 25% optimization of research and development expenses. We want to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck there and reduce those research and development expenses. We want to look at reduction of budgeting and forecasting costs. And another way that SAP can help us do this is by 10 to 40% increase in productivity by applying intelligent technologies, as again, SAP talked about earlier, maybe introducing some areas of AI. We look at operational effectiveness and efficiency. High cash conversion, cycle efficiency, increased asset uptime. We have 1 to 10% reduction of days sales outstanding. We want to make sure that when we're billing, that we're receiving payments, both on the customer side and then also on the student side. And then we have 5 to 45% lower annual services and end-to-end process efficiency. So if we have outlined and defined specific processes within our organization, if we're following those processes efficiently, then it's a streamlined process throughout the SAP system and throughout the organization, so we're all marching to one drum. And then again, we talked about strategic outcomes, where we can improve student satisfaction, we can reduce employee turnover, improve agility, reduce business and technology risk, and improve decision-making. We want to make sure that we're looking at all aspects or all cubes of the organization to make great decisions. How can SAP help us with that? 10 to 20% higher employee engagement, 12% reduction in employee turnover, and then we want to have improved user compliance. And SAP can help us in all of those areas. We also want to look at some of the capabilities that SAP have in what we call the back office to help us with that. And these are some of the modules within the SAP system. When we talk about mobile asset management, we can do things from our mobile phones or from what we call a handheld device. You have budget maintenance, where we can make sure that our departments are staying within budget. We have payment management where we can streamline payments to our vendors, accounts receivable, accounts payable, finance accounting, and then also the closing process, month-end closing and year-end closing within the SAP system to streamline those processes to make those transactions or to make those to make those processes go smoother, faster, and more accurately within SAP. When we're looking at creating end-to-end research experience and or funds and grant management, we have a grant financial process, a grants management within the SAP system. We have purchase order collaboration because it's an integrated system throughout all of S4. And then we have invoice processing. We have real-time data and analytics, profitability analysis, workflow analytics, real-time reporting and monitoring, budget reporting and closing, business integrity and screening, and then we also have cash and treasury management. So these are some of the back-end system modules within the S4 system that can help you produce the system more, that can help you produce transactions more accurately. Basically, this is just saying sustainability benefits. The true value of SAP is the consolidation of data, insights, and agility, at which you can, again, as we talked about before, you have one transparent, one ERP, one integrated system. So it helps to eliminate redundant tasks. It helps optimize process across the entire enterprise, more efficient collaboration between departments, and then also it is compliant globally, federally, and state within your locality regarding accounting regulation. We're going to look at the CFO dashboard for higher education. So we're going to walk through a little demo, and I'm going to talk us through it as we go through, and I'll point out some of the things that SAP does to overall show you or to help us get to the reporting that we spoke about earlier. So this is what we call the CFO dashboard. This dashboard is comprised of what we call Fury apps in the SAP world. These Fury apps have mostly reportings when we're talking at the CFO level. What type of reports would the CFO want to see if they, or what type of information would they want to pull out of the system if they needed to have something at their fingertips? So what we attempted to do is to give all of this information in one place so a CFO could actually click on something and go and pull that report and get the information needed. So the first thing we're going to look at is the financial statement. So basically, in SAP, everything is segmented by what we call a company code and or a legal entity. And each of your financial statements, each of your reports have versions. So basically what we're looking at here is we're just looking at the financial statement, and it's going through and showing you balance sheet, assets, liabilities, fixed assets, a normal financial balance, financial statement that you would see in any system. Here in SAP, we're showing you how easy it is to pull the report and how you can actually have drill down capabilities. The thing that I want to call out here is that you can see it by GL account. You can see it by period. You can see it by collaboration of GL account, however you choose to pull it out of a set of your versions in SAP. It shows you the period balance, the comparison balance, if you want to see that between years, the difference. And then again, you can pull it by GL account. So we have our income, and then we have receipts. So here we're just going through, we're looking at the balance sheet report, the financial statement, which is the balance sheet report, and it's telling you that it's filtered by 7 different areas: the company code, the ledger, the statement version, and the statement type. If we go back, it takes us back to the CFO dashboard. One of the reports we're showing here is the student fee report. This would be very important to a CFO because they're going to want to see what's outstanding, what's coming in, where we may be stagnant in receiving money. So here, you can, what we're looking at was an overall depiction. Now it's actually going to go down to the actual individual student so that we can see collected amount, outstanding amount, expected amount, and then we have these fee categories based on when we're actually supposed to collect. The collection is by fee category, but this will also show up if the student is behind based on their fee category, then they would also be a part of the days sales outstanding. Here, this gives you a pictorial dictation of what's happening with each of the students. And then again, you can see the student fees. Another report we want to look at, again, it has to do with the student. And again, you can view this by year. You can see the student fee report. It's a different picture of what we saw before. It's different ways of looking at the information. Now we're looking at year 2019. We can compare the two to see outstanding amounts and how the magnitude of the amounts that are outstanding. And then we can look at students within the first year and do a comparison there to see if it's a first year student, how they're trending. Are they paying are they paying like they should be? What's their fee strategy? And then again, we can see here by student the tuition and what is expected for us to receive. So these are just a few of the reports that we have in the system. We wanted to get the ones that are most applicable for you to show. Again, we can see these by individual students. We can see these by different fee categories based on the fee category that they're in. If they're in multiple programs, we can see them. We can see what they have by multiple programs. One student, or multiple students, or students as a whole. Now we're looking at second, third, and fourth year student fee reports. Again, if the student, we need to see what we have outstanding as far as fee capabilities. And then we can look at the different, if you look at the right-hand side of the screen, it shows, based on whether it's an MBA student, whether it's tuition, whether it's fees, and then this breaks it down actually by individual student. And that's a little bit of what we call the back office and some of the reports that you can see or have at your fingertips. There are a lot more reports that we can look at, but we don't have time here today. So I think I went a little longer than I was supposed to. So Matt, I'll turn it back over to you.
No, not at all, Patrice. I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. We did capture a few questions that we wanted to review, but before we dive into the questions, I wanted to make everybody aware that we have a special offer just for attending or listening to today's webinar. Anybody that participates is eligible for a complimentary 1-week road mapping session that's conducted by YASH. If you have questions, you'd like to take advantage of this offer or have other inquiries, please just shoot me an email. My email address is listed on the screen, matthew.parker@yash.com. I'd be happy to get back to you with the information that you need. The first question came up. I think this is based to Patrice. It says, our university has multiple campuses. Does SAP provide options to consolidate financial reporting? Patrice, you're on mute.
The answer to the question, Matt, is yes, it does. There are ways that we can provide financial reporting. What we would talk about if we did a discovery session with you is we would look at how to segment your campuses. And then based on how we segment your campuses and look at what your legal entities are, what are you considering as legal entities within the SAP system? Based on those two things, we would always be able to give you consolidated reporting. And just with the way the SAP system is set up, we probably can give you consolidated reporting within the SAP system, and or we can look at what SAP has offered as far as what we call consolidations, consolidating reporting.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Next question, does SAP have capabilities to integrate with other applications? Our university has multiple systems, that would need to be integrated.
So Matt, SAP comes with a solution called as SAP Cloud Platform Integration, or CPI. It's an API-based integration. So any third-party system or any surround application which has capabilities to integrate through APIs can get integrated with SAP. And it can be inbound and outbound integration. So we have done SAP integration with so many LMS solutions like Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle, and so on, and so many biometric integrations for attendance. So yeah, so SAP has a dedicated solution on integrations.
Awesome, thank you. Next question was, how long does it take, to build the student lifecycle management solution, for a typical university?
Okay, so we have had implementations as short as 3 to 4 months, where our universities have decided to adopt best practices and then slowly and gradually build on the customizations. But we have also had large implementations which range somewhere around 6 to 7 months, where the need to customize and localize is very high. So it depends on the requirements and how the university is structured. So what I would recommend is like this 1 week of system roadmap could be an opportunity for us to have a deep dive in your system and give you a roadmap, like how much time would be an ideal time for your university to get migrated to SAP solutions.
No, thank you, Atish. So the last question is, our university has undergone, some changes in recent legislation, and putting pressure on us to, look for cost savings. Is it possible to implement just the finance portion of what was presented today?
The finance portion of SAP? Yes,
yeah, that's what the question was.
It is possible. It is possible to implement just the finance portion. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I also would like to add, Matt, like SAP has so many offerings. Like there's something called as Grow with SAP, which is focused for short duration implementations and best practices for finances. It can be implemented in less than 3 months, Patrice, right? All the standard best practices for finance, and yes, that can be implemented standalone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was all for the questions that I have. Just a quick note for all the attendees. We'll be sending out an email thanking you for attending, and then also a link to the recording of today's meeting. So again, thank you all for being here today. And if you have questions or would like to follow up, please shoot me an email. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.